The answer came that she was the second wife of the incumbent of a neighbouring parish, and that she was lame. She was generally believed to be a woman with a story, an innocent one, but a story of some sort or other. In conversing with her on their way home, the boy who walked at her elbow said that he hoped his father had not missed them. "He have been so comfortable these last few hours that I am sure he cannot have missed us," she replied. "Has, dear mother, not have," exclaimed the public school boy with an impatient fastidiousness that was almost harsh. "Surely you know that by this time." His mother hastily adopted the correction, and did not resent his making it, or retaliate, as she might well have done, by bidding him to wipe that crummy mouth of his, whose condition had been caused by surreptitious attempts to eat a piece of cake without taking it out of the pocket wherein it lay concealed. After this the pretty woman and the boy went onward in silence. That question of grammar bore upon her history, and she fell into reverie of a somewhat sad kind, to all appearance. It might have been assumed that she was wondering if she had done wisely in shaping her life as she had shaped it, to bring out such a result as this. In a remote nook in North Wessex, 40 miles from London, near the thriving county town of Aldbrickham, there stood a pretty village with its church and parsonage, which she knew well enough, but her son had never seen. It was her native village, Gaymead, and the first event bearing upon her present situation had occurred at that place when she was a girl of 19. How well she remembered it, that first act in her little tragicomedy, the death of her reverend husband's first wife. It happened on a spring evening, and she who now and for many years had filled that first wife's place was then parlour-maid in the parson's house. When everything had been done that could be done, and the death was announced, she had gone out in the dusk to visit her parents, who were living in the same village, to tell them the sad news. As she opened the white swing-gate and looked towards the trees, which rose westward, shutting out the pale light of the evening sky, she discerned, without much surprise, the figure of a man standing in the hedge, though she roguishly exclaimed as a matter of form, "Oh, Sam, how you frightened me!" He was a young gardener of her acquaintance. She told him the particulars of the late event, and they stood silent, these two young people, in that elevated, calmly philosophic mind which is engendered when a tragedy has happened close at hand, and has not happened to the philosophers themselves. But it had its bearing upon their relations. "And will you stay on now at the vicarage just the same?" asked he. She had hardly thought of that. "Oh, yes, I suppose," she said. "Everything will be just as usual, I imagine." He walked beside her towards her mother's. Presently his arm stole round her waist. She gently removed it, but he placed it there again, and she yielded the point. "You see, dear Sophy, you don't know that you'll stay on. You may want a home, and I shall be ready to offer one some day, though I may not be ready just yet." "Why, Sam, how can you be so fast? I've never even said I liked 'ee, and it is all your own doing, coming after me." "Still, it is nonsense to say I am not to have a try at you like the rest." He stooped to kiss her a farewell, for they had reached her mother's door. "No, Sam, you shan't," she cried, putting her hand over his mouth. "You ought to be more serious on such a night as this." And she bade him adieu, without allowing him to kiss her or to come indoors. The vicar, just left a widower, was at this time a man about 40 years of age, of good family, and childless. He had led a secluded existence in this college living, partly because there was no resident landowners, and his loss now intensified his habit of withdrawal from outward observation. He was still less seen than heretofore, kept himself still less in time with the rhythm and racket of the movements called progress in the world without. For many months after his wife's decease the economy of his household remained as before. The cook, the housemaid, the parlour-maid, and the man out of doors performed